Hello, Socrates at Saddlebrooke. Stuart Orr again making the final presentation on our two-series investigation of our big question for these two seasons: has science rediscovered a creator? Now, based on all the evidence you've been watching, there's over 15 hours of material on the website now, and the argumentation that you've heard, what are your conclusions? Is there sufficient evidence to justify the God hypothesis for scientific study? Or do you think the materialists are right, that the evidence supports scientific materialism and it points in the opposite direction? What path do you favor? Following the God hypothesis or following the no God hypothesis? Do you accept or reject considering the God hypothesis from scientific evaluation at all? Now remember, we started our investigation to examine the big questions for its impact on our personal life. I mean, Socrates gave us that dictum, right? The unexamined life is not worth living. Please let me tell you my story. In my 30s, I needed an answer to this creator question because I thought everything at that time rested on the answer to that. I wanted to know the meaning and purpose of life. Made a huge difference to me if I thought I was created for a purpose rather than I was just the accidental byproduct of nature, as my science education taught me. I had assumed, as almost everybody else in my class, that materialism was true. But it left me wanting. What about you? What direction do you think the evidence points? Did God create or did materialism create? What does your intellect tell you? What does your heart tell you? I wrestled with this creator question because I saw everything that was of importance to me rested on it. So I took the Socrates admonition seriously, and I went in search of truth with many of the greatest thinkers of the past, scientists, philosophers, theologians. And on my journey, I encountered first Isaac Newton, my favorite scientist of all time. He appealed to my scientific intellect. He also said, don't doubt the creator because it's inconceivable that accidents alone could be the controller of this universe. Then he went on to say, I believe the more I study science, the more I believe in God. Guess who also said the same thing? Albert Einstein. He didn't believe in organized religion at all, but he said, the more I study science, the more I believe in God. Blaise Pascal, who appealed to the hole that was in my heart for meaning and purpose, said, we know the truth not only by reason, but by the heart. He talked about the hole that's in the heart, this infinite abyss, he called it, abyss, that can only be filled with an infinite and immutable object. In other words, God. I even checked out our modern scientific materialists again to make sure I understood what they were saying. Stephen Hawking, for example, said, well, one can't prove that God doesn't exist, but science makes God unnecessary. The laws of physics can explain the universe without the need for a creator. Really? Well, where do the laws of physics come from? I checked with the new atheists, like Richard Dawkins, who believes that the universe is all there is, all there ever was, all there ever will be. And he says that the universe at bottom has no design, no purpose, no good, nothing but blind, pitiless indifference. I just mused. There has to be more to life than that. C.S. Lewis gave me my spiritual insight that I had never had before, since I wasn't a religious person. And he said that I am more than a material body. I am also an immaterial spiritual soul. He said, I just don't have a soul. I am a soul. And I have a physical body also. He gave me a spiritual lens through which I could discover truth in this world. C.S. Lewis was a converted atheist. He found Christ and he said, I believe in Christ as I believe the sun rises, not just because I can see it, but by it I can see everything else. And that's what I really wanted. I wanted a lens, I wanted a worldview through which I could view and find truth. I never thought that truth would come in the form of a person. Jesus the Christ, who claimed to be the way, the truth, and the life, and that by following him, I would find truth, and that truth would set me free. Jesus said he was the incarnation of the Creator, and he would prove that by his resurrection from the dead. Could that possibly be true, I asked? The New Testament said that God was in Christ reconciling the world to himself, and that Jesus came into the world to bear witness to the truth. These are extraordinary claims. I asked, well, where's the extraordinary evidence? Well, I did investigate that, but that's going to require a whole other series of Socrates seasons to get into that. Let's just keep it for now, that's my story, and might be an open question for you. But the important thing right now is, what's your story, not mine? You must decide these matters for yourself. Our current Socrates investigation has centered on the scientific evidence for, has science rediscovered the Creator? Is there sufficient scientific evidence to admit the God hypothesis to the table for investigation, based on its own merit, its own scientific merit, not any religious implications for or against? Or should we let scientific materialism reign to continue to censor the God hypothesis as it does today with its competing religious assumption of atheism? Think about that. Competing religious assumption of atheism. Should the God hypothesis be allowed to be a voice in the public square and in the marketplace of ideas? Or do we continue to let the dominant voice of atheism reign in the culture without any competition or critical analysis? I asked myself, I wonder what some of my favorite thinkers say about science and religion cooperating. I first turned to Albert Einstein. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. Wernher von Braun, who headed the science rocket program for putting our man on the moon, he said, the universe is revealed through scientific inquiry and is a living witness that God has indeed been at work. Should science and faith cooperate? My favorite agnostic mathematician and philosopher from the early 20th century, Alfred North Whitehead, said, when we consider what religion is for mankind, what it's done for mankind, what science is and what it's done for mankind, it's no exaggeration that the future course of history depends on the decision of this generation as to the relations between the two of them. Now, in our next season at Socrates, we'll take up these questions again on monthly presentations of the Socrates Forum at the Saddlebrooke Country Club. And in an exciting new format of interview, discussion, audience participation, we will be taking a deeper dive into the evidence for the God hypothesis. So be on the lookout for this new season of forums and for the ensuing video cast. And make sure we have your name and address, email address, so we can inform you of the meeting places and times, as well as give you web access to the video cast. You can register right here on this website below. But if you can't attend the forums in person, I look forward to seeing you back here for the following video casts. In the meantime, keep thinking deeply about origins and destiny. Study the material on the website. Has science discovered a creator? What direction do you think the evidence points? Follow the path wherever you think it leads. I'm Stuart Orr. See you next season.